Guy gets banned
for sexual. Wait, hold on.
Who?
I don't know. About to find out. For sexual harassment. Uh-oh.
Guy buys girl plane ticket to event in hope of cuddles. Girl agrees to sex. Guy agrees. Girl backs out. Guy is fine with it. Girl reports guy for sexual harassment. Guy is banned indefinitely. Guy cancels girl's plane ticket home and kicked her out of the hotel. It's a live stream fails comment, so take it for a grain of salt.
Holy shit, hold on. So much to read. Sorry, guys. One sec. I saw this guy getting banned from the all games, whatever. I don't know. Did he actually do anything wrong? What the fuck happened?
Oh, I thought that was what you were reading about.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, I was reading on the messages. It didn't seem like he did anything wrong.
You give me TLDR?
Basically, he invited some girl to go to an event. I think he said that he wanted to hang out, but it seemed like he was being pretty explicit that there was like no pressure or whatever. And then I guess she reported him for sexual harassment. I don't know. I don't know what her side of the story is yet. But he like dumped like all their fucking like he dumped a lot of fucking chat logs.
He dumped it all.
He dumped a lot of chat logs.
No league, got it.
Here is where he went wrong. Oh. Okay, never mind. There's the meme. Apparently, she didn't want to sleep with him, and he said that that's fine if we didn't want to have sex, but she still needs to sleep in the same bed as me.
Yeah, I read the tweet. Pretty egg.
I mean, she has every right to back out. And technically, I mean, he has every right to cancel her ticket, right? Her sleeping in the same bed as him would be a nice favor to him, but he's not obligated. She's not obligated to. But then him buying the ticket for her is something he's not obligated to do. I don't know.
Do you have an answer for the Jesse Lee Peterson meme? What is a man? Question.
I don't fucking know. Or, I mean, if she... Well, actually, if she originally agreed... Okay, never mind. If she originally agreed to sleep with him or whatever for the ticket, even non-sexually, if she backs out of that, then he has every right to back out of his paying for it. I don't understand how any of this could get you banned from games done quick, but...
My game crashed, though.
Are you serious? Okay, fuck it. I'll review this then. We'll podcast later tonight, okay?
Yep, good luck, bye.
Be careful. Alright, we'll read it all, fuck it. Alright, just let me end one duos game. That's all I want to do. Brawler? No. Alright. How much of this do I really want to dive into? Nice meme. Okay. It's new year. You don't deserve to start out with spending time with friends. I've got a guy who's in my room right now, but he has another place that he's able to stay if he needs. I've talked with Cupbat, and he didn't mind having a bedmate. He didn't mind having a bedmate of choice, and he said I could pay for the room over 2 months anyways. It means your room portion wouldn't be anything to worry about. I could probably get you at least some sort of flight on the 3rd. Harpoon helped me. He paid for my flight when I didn't have the money, so suddenly I like to help you too. Are you for real? Oh my god, I'm so pressure about anything, but I'll be honest. I made a post back on Twitter, asking for anyone who was going if they would be my bedmate. I have horrible insomnia and I stayed awake for...
If you're reading this, you've been in a coma for almost...
Nice meme. Awake for 70 hours. My previous GDQs, when I didn't have someone to sleep next to that I felt I trusted. Obviously, it's a crazy thing under the blue, but everyone knows. Who knew / saw me back then? It wasn't healthy. No, it's totally fine. I mean, I still kind of want them to think about it. You would just pay for my plane ticket, though. There would be any obligation for us to hang together with the same group of people or anything like that. LOL, but I do want you to know the options aren't open. Take the evening or however long you need to think about it, and I've got the option to just cover your ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll probably be a lot, right? Such short notice. Oh, yeah, we better hang a lot. I can check. What airport would you be going out of? Greenville, South Carolina. So Greenville, Spartanburg, yeah, something like that. Let me just check. I live in Eastleigh. My sister. Okay, she said you can wake up. Awesome. Looks like 2 different airports. Blah, blah, blah. Tickets going on Wednesday. No. But if it's a Delta ticket, you could arrive right around the time I would at the same airport. I could meet you at the gate, and we could just wait for Harpoon to pick us up. Dang, to Asheville. I'm sorry, 275 was for Asheville, the 475 was for the Greensville Spartan. Wait, hold on. Damn, she's being picky about the ticket the guy is fucking paying for? Holy shit. Oh, that's gonna be an omega yikes for me. I really don't mind. Plus, it'd be a lot more freedom in planning your flights to and from. You sure this is crazy? It's going to look like we were talking while you two were together. I made people say share your rib, I guess, which I don't mind really. It's also crazy, Perry. But I want to go. I feel like I shouldn't mess up. I seriously find myself on the couch when the ball dropped for New Year's. It's awesome, crazy, scary, amazing. I want you to be able to sleep. I don't want to say anything. Look, do you know what I've been going through lately? I'm going to be person to person, be able to be here. Being alone just sucks. I was alone on New Year's doing absolutely nothing but smoking bowl after bowl because the night just sucked. 2018 felt like I was used and tossed to the side. Being alone, it sucks. Past 10 years of my life, I've taken a smoke for 7 years, but for the 11 divided by 2 years, I was about ready. So my therapy pitbull, I've never dealt with being alone well, ever. I don't sleep well when I'm alone. I'm a cuddler. I like to snuggle / touch, but it's the only way I've ever been able to sleep. Mocha, I could literally spoon her a 90-pound big baby pit, and she would just lay under the pillows with her head tucked into mine. Kai sleeps so excellent. I just wake it up constantly. I've just been crazy on it. I don't care if it's crazy. I'm not going to care. Oh. I'd rather be able to cuddle. I don't care if people are going to think we were talking. Why does that matter what anyone else thinks anyway? I already know that Taylor has her friends. Lexi watercolored, also Scott. So I love to cuddle too. People can lay in the same bed / cuddle whatever his friends if they need to. I mean, I don't know. There's a huge difference between being a social animal and sexual, and people just jump to the worst they can think of. Mari, if something happens, life is going to take its course. I wouldn't mind laying on a different layer of sheets / bent blankets or something. I was the guy that went to my first, second GDQ and didn't have an absolute single person talking when I was alone. It sucked, but I never started the work that I'd done. No one would know who I was. Mari, lol. You're right, I should encourage people to fuck up. For real though, I'm all about some cuddles. If someone puts weight / their head on my chest, something like that, I'm not like a baby. I'm just saying it'd be a nice change of pace in the new year. At least something nice for the time being, you know. And I do think there's a natural chemistry / bubbliness there. I'm glad that you'll go. Obviously, after we figure out what's going on with that stuff. Ooh. Don't buy the return ticket yet. Will the return flight be at the same place I leave from? I gotta do some planning. I'm gonna cuddle the shit out of you all. Basically, all you have to worry about are these things. Your ride at the airport in South Carolina. And also who will pick you up in South Carolina. I'm excited too. It definitely did happen all of a sudden. I feel like I have so much to do. What day are we arriving at GDQ? Got a degree in cuddling. Holy shit. Whew. Oh, fuck. Takes a lot of balls to release these logs. I'm not gonna lie, boys. We're gonna have the room to ourselves.
"22 months head pat me senpai."
I should probably ask about cuddles actually. I have like a specific set of rules when I just hook up or just cuddle or both, and so I just want to know, are we going to cuddle or are you down to fuck or anything like that? I don't want to catch feelings or anything. I don't want to date or anything after this, and I don't really like holding hands. I usually don't like mixing cuddling and sex, just to make sure there's no feelings to anyone. But so it's okay with you that like it's just going to be physical. I mean we were friends, but I don't know. I tried to not cuddle or bang friends because feelings get involved. I just want to make sure both of us are okay after GDQ is over. There's nothing wrong with having a specific set of rules to hook up or anything like that. Like I said, I don't want you to feel like anything's special anyway. I generally want you to hang out over good and marry. If cuddling, unless something happens, it does have to be any feelings about it other than just feeling dreams. I personally enjoy it while having sex. For example, I've got bondage / stuff to strap hands and ankles with. Is it something you'd ever be interested? Holy shit. Just fucking ramp this up real quick. I'm down for whatever, really. I just want to make sure you're okay. I like being dominated. Can I call you sir or master? Wait, so what the fuck happened? Holy yikes. Please don't be private. Okay. So what did the guy get actually banned for? Destiny, look at her pictures. What pictures? Look at her pictures? Did she release logs too or what? No, they just mean how she looks. Oh, that has nothing to fucking do with anything, you fucking incel. Someone changing their minds in the moment isn't grounds for kicking them out of the fucking bed and room and canceling their trip home? Nope, that is absolutely not true. Nah, sorry. She totally, if she wants to leave at any point in time, that's totally cool. But you shouldn't be surprised to get all your shit canceled. I mean, I'm sorry. Nah, no way, dude. I'm trying to think in this case, if I'm talking to a chick, we're going to go and we're going to hook up, blah, blah, blah. I probably wouldn't do it because I'm super nice. I'm really chill. But I could totally see it happening, right? And then the person's like, well, I don't think I would ever do it because I'm a pushover. But like, I could totally see it happening. What if somebody did it to me? If I were to meet up with somebody else with the intention of fucking them, we get there and I'm like, I'm not feeling it at all, sorry. I would just leave. I would leave and take care of my own shit. I wouldn't expect them to still cover shit for me. No way. That would be super fucking uncomfortable. No fucking way. Would you pay for someone's flight to fuck in the first place? Hell yeah, you better fucking believe I would, boy. It depends on who it is. Yeah, we'll go with that one. It depends on who it is. There was no agreement tied to the ticket. It's still a huge dick move to cancel return trip. What do you mean there's no agreement? There's like there's some implicit shit going on here. Come on, my dude. I mean, if you want to go as far as say, well, there's no agreement that then there's no like real agreement that he would buy the return ticket. Like, I mean, like if you were to show up and like totally fucking like I don't want fucking shit to do with you, that's fine and that's her right. But she probably needs a different place to stay and probably needs to find a different way home. It's obvious she's financially not capable of paying for her own stuff. Sounds like she couldn't afford to get home, which is why this has gone south. Sounds like she probably shouldn't have made this arrangement then. Or she should have been more responsible about it and approached it as more of like a prostitution thing than a thing that she could just go back on at any point in time, right? Like, I'm explicitly fucking this guy in exchange for getting a ticket, and I understand that's like what I'm doing here, and that's it. And then obviously if I'm gonna fuck a hooker and she is like, well, hold on, I don't want to fuck anymore. It's like, okay, that's cool. You can make that decision, but I want my fucking money back. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not, what the fuck, dude? I mean, like, this is set up like pretty hardcore as like a sort of exchange of services here. And the guy didn't even technically go sexual. Although again, even with cuddling, she has every right to go back on that, which is totally fine. It's absolutely her choice. But to expect somebody to continue to cover your way and everything after that, I don't think so. No, sorry about that. Now, there are other parts to this story. Hold on. So let's spin it from the other angle, okay? There are other parts to this story that we don't know, that she hasn't released anything of, that would not only totally vindicate her, but would put the guy entirely in the wrong. So for instance, if they were cuddling or whatever, and the guy was continually trying to fuck her after she explicitly made it clear multiple times that she didn't want to fuck him, and then she was like, listen, like, I can't even fucking be in the same bed with you. Like, I'll sleep in the same room. I'll sleep on the floor if you want, but I'm not going to sleep with you after, like, because you won't fucking chill. In that case, her story would become a lot more reasonable, and then I could see the guy being, like, totally in the wrong here. But, fuck, I mean, do we ever know? I don't know. It would depend on what she... This is what we call the I'm good, love, enjoy method in hip-hop parlance. Just ask Future. Yeah, the thing is that, like, I'm more inclined to believe the guy here. Maybe I shouldn't be, because he went fucking nuclear. Like, anybody who is, like, willing to dump that many fucking logs doesn't seem like they have shit to hide. Like, he just fucking released it all. Right? It reminds me of like the Ford, how she answered like every single fucking question, and Kavanaugh was like, I don't know, like, I don't know, man. Like, he just fucking dumped it all here. It doesn't seem like he has anything to hide. But I mean, it's still possible that something happened in the room. I guess we can never really know that, huh? Or he's autistic and doesn't know how he could possibly wrong/rapey. Yeah, it is possible. It is possible that happened. He looks really responsible in text messages now, especially with fucking gamers. It's possible that he's okay via text and not okay in person, which is one of the reasons why it's very fucking important to meet somebody in real life, because it's going to be a way different experience seeing somebody in real life versus meeting them in text. But his text messages seem really, really responsibly done. Even if something happened in the room, doesn't the guy have every right to kick her out of her room and cancel her ticket? Well, yeah, but I mean, technically he still does, but then he's a huge dick. He's like not legally or contractually in the wrong, but like ethically in the wrong. If I like am talking to a chick, it's like, hey, like I just want somebody to sleep and cuddle with, and then they're in my bed and I'm like constantly trying to grab their ass or some shit. They're like, yo, I don't want to do this. Like, what the fuck? Like, I thought we were doing this. And they're like, oh, well, get the fuck out of my room, then I'm gonna cancel your ticket. Like, I don't know. That feels like a much bigger dick move, you know? It seems a little weird that she went real hard on fucking him in text when she could have just kept plausible deniability and gotten free room/tickets. Things might have gone south during the interaction. That's what I feel. And there's like a dissonance here. It's very hard. In text message, so there's two big things he's gone for. One, in text messaging, he seems like he's handling himself really responsibly. He's constantly saying there's no pressure and everything, which is good. So he's got that one thing going for him. And the second, like just fucking dumping logs like this is like, damn, okay, sure. However, she also looks really into things here and seems like everything's fine, which leads me to think that something probably happened during the interaction. That's kind of what it seems like. But I mean, like, fuck, we can't, like, it's really hard to know, and we'll never know more past that, right? Unless somebody like recorded it.
She explicitly said she wanted to spend the first day feel each other out. If she ended up not wanting to do it, she should have every right to back out at that point.
Hold on.
He can't withdraw her flight home because she refuses when they already
He can
agreed.
absolutely withdraw home. You should expect it to happen. Okay, what did you say?
Nah, just since he's the person with the money here, don't you think he should be the one with the obligation to set the terms of their, so to speak, contract with her visit?
I mean, yeah, but like we're so heavily implicit here. It's like, I mean, like when I read this, like it looks to me like I feel pretty easily what's on the table, and I feel like they've kind of like talked around it enough that it seems pretty obvious, like kind of what's on the table. I guess, like, I don't know, I'm trying to role reverse. Like, if somebody was going to fly me out somewhere, and we've explicitly talked about past sleeping together, like even fucking and everything, and by the time I got there, I didn't like the person so much that I was going to be sleeping on the floor, I would expect to be trying to find a new place to stay and a new place back home, and probably never talking to this person again, because of how fucked everything would be. That would be, like, my expectation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for that. I just feel like if I had money the way this guy has money, to schlep fat girls in, I feel like that would give me so much leverage to bypass consent with people staying over, you know?
Yeah, and I agree.
Kind of like
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But like the thing that I like that he does here, and I do this in a lot of my messaging, and I understand that it could still be like seen like, or maybe it could still go wrong, but like he says like multiple times, like no pressure, like there's no pressure for anything or whatever. And I have to go back and check. I think she was even the one that opened the door further towards sexual activity, and she did it unprovoked. I'm not saying that like it's her fault or anything like that, but I'm saying like she was the one that, like, if I was reading this, if this guy was like damning me and he's like, hey, do you think this chick is in with me or like into me or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, she 100% wants to fuck you. Like, it's painfully fucking obvious. Like, that's what it read to me, like, pretty obviously, you know?
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
And again, to be clear, she can still revoke. Like, she doesn't have to go through with anything. But man, I would not expect somebody to continue to cover my room and fly me back home after not wanting anything to do with them over the week. Like,
you're just coming at this. You're not coming at this with the same innate distrust of men that I have. So I feel like you might be a bit biased on this one, Steven.
Well, no. So like, I mean, I have a lot of friends in this space, and I have a very fucking low opinion of men in general, especially streamer-related people. So, like, there are a lot of other cases where I would agree with you here. So, for instance, like, if they had bumped into each other and she was in a desperate situation and he offered, then I would be way, way, way more willing to come to your side on that. But the fact that this is taking place, both people are in very neutral environments. She hasn't committed to anything. It's not like she's going to Games Done Quick and now she needs a way back, so she's desperate or anything.
Best content
like,
on Twitch.
Both of them like are very, very, very neutral right now in terms of and it seems like she's very willingly entering into this. So like a lot of the things I'd be worried about for power discrepancies, for wealth discrepancies or whatever, are kind of like at the side because they're both in such like she could totally just say, I don't want to go to GDQ this week or this year or whatever, right?
I mean, the thing that would clear all this ambiguity is if she just flatly said, hey, just so you know, even if I decide not to have sex with you, am I still on for the gifts that you're offering me? If people would just say that, they could clear up so much potential hurt down the line.
Yeah, that's possible. If she could have said that, maybe she didn't, because maybe she thought she'd sound like a huge dick if she said that.
It's kind of a buzzkill, you know. But
yeah,
I think it's important to distinguish that. I kind of sympathize. I've been in the same position as the guy. I obviously didn't make the decisions he did, but I've like you fly someone over and things don't work out, and you're still kind of paying for them. Have you been in that position? You've got more money than me. I'm sure you've.
Hold on one second. Yeah, but I don't think I've had. I'm trying to think if I've had somebody like back out before.
Less than 3.
Oh no, I have. Yeah, but not where I'm like providing like a room and shit. Not like in this situation where someone is like relying on me for like transport in a room. I don't think so.
They never back down with you.
Well, no. I've had people do that before, but generally we just spend the rest of the night chatting, and then they'll like take off at the end of the night, and it's usually fine. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what Yeah, not anything like this. I mean, like I said earlier, like I would probably still cover their stuff because it's just money and I don't care. And I'm usually like I lean pretty on the nice side when it comes to stuff like this. But if I was putting someone else in this position, I would totally be trying to find my own way home, and I would be trying to find my own place to stay because that would feel like a super big imposition. Like holy shit.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, this is kind of a situation where wealth disparity inherently implies a a potential breach of consent.
I agree with what you're saying. I would normally like put a lot more weight into this, but the fact of the matter is, like, she made these decisions at home without any pressure. It's not like she was currently stranded and needed something or anything, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
I haven't. Hey, real quick, I know this guy wants to chat, but I feel really awkward just putting on like one side of the story. It feels super irresponsible. The problem, guys, is that like what?
Oh, do you want me to dip?
No, the guy wants to come on and chat, but like the problem is that like say I put this guy on to chat and he comes on and he says that they didn't do anything at all whatsoever and everything was totally chill and totally fine. And then like the girl comes out like a day later after getting massive amounts of hate on the internet, because if I bring someone on like that, that's what's going to happen. She's going to get totally shit on. And then she's like, hey, by the way, I went to the cops and I did a rape kit and the guy fucked me. And it's like, oh shit. I fucked up hard. I feel really, really uncomfortable. If they both want to come on and chat, I'll do that, but I feel super uncomfortable just bringing on one person. I know it's good content.
The narrative
There's always the chance of her withdrawing consent.
Wait, sorry, what'd you say?
I'm sorry, I said you're projecting the narrative off breaking news then.
Oh, yeah, like I just feel like I feel really, really, really bad. I don't want to just bring on like one side of like a breaking thing like this because it's hardcore. I'm basically going to be hardcore siding with this guy if he comes on to just tell his side of the story. But yeah, if he can get her and they both want to come on, then yeah, I'll do it. Okay, sorry, hold on. There's always a chance of her withdrawing consent, and he should know that. He made it clear, I'm not going to leave you stranded or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. Just, I said my piece. Okay, what's up? Sorry, go ahead.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to interject with the bring the guy on.
What?
First, don't bring the guy on. Second, don't bring both of them on because it's a fucking circus.
Oh, I like that. I want that circus. If both want to come on, I 100. Listen, you don't have to bring them onto your stream, okay? But if both want to come on, that's some good ass content. I mean, I definitely do.
No, listen, it is. We talk about irresponsibility and shit. This is the next level of irresponsibility.
Hey,
like this
listen,
is actually fucking like.
I'd give them both a platform to say their speech. Doctor, fill it out.
What's up, Lucas?
Mr. Mooton's name is Lucas?
No, dude, it's fucking Mr. Moon. Come on, what are you doing? This is a fucking nickname.
Lucas is a really cool name. I'm not hating. I like it. Isn't that the name of that character in Smash from Earthbound?
Let him join if he wants. If news comes out that he lied to you, then that's that he is a scumbag. Let him on. The problem is that retractions in media are worthless. Like the initial story is always going to be carried with way more fervor than any retraction will. So it's not.
Yeah, and then even if it isn't, Destiny gets to be the guy that let this guy lie on his stream. So
is it bad to platform
it's a lose-lose.
someone, or like I guess bring them on if they're just like telling their side, and if they come out that they're liars later?
So here's like a thing that really bothered me about Hillary Clinton and the emails. A lot of people said that it was okay that the emails got hacked because at the very least we got some transparency, and people said transparency was good. But the problem that I have with that is that transparency on one side is not transparency. That's propaganda. So when it comes to like platforming somebody where there are two people with a different take on an issue and you can only get one take, I would rather have no takes. The preferred order would be both takes, no takes, and then like negative would be one take. Because yeah, with no takes we can just speculate based on what we have, like the facts that we have. We can try to speculate. But with only one take, we could be fed like a false story, and we could actually speculate on things that are not true. Somebody could be making something up.
And then fans would go out and
yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah.
But
then with both people on, both people would have the chance to present their side of the story and whatnot. Yeah.
Right, so I mean, this doesn't apply to your stream, but in my world, we have controls for this sort of thing. Like, before putting someone up on TV, we're going to vet their story, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We're going to...
That's how WAPO fucking caught the fucking Project Veritas motherfucker.
Right.
Mhm.
But to give an example for TV, which I feel like is the more comparable medium, if you're going to bring someone on that's, saying this person falsely accused me, you're going to call the accuser and be like, hey, this guy's going to say this, and you obviously talk to him beforehand as well,
Mhm.
and you either challenge him in the pre-interview, or if there's some shit that's clearly off the wall, you can go out and challenge him on air. Though that it's ethically squishy, so it's not something that I would really recommend or defend in any way.
Mhm.
Is it bad to show his logs then? Because I guess he could technically be cherry picking his logs or whatever, and then presenting like a false narrative that way, or is it more?
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Say that again.
Is it bad to just show only, or is it bad to show his logs that he presented because he could have been cherry picking?
I mean,
I
it
guess
looks
the
like
logs
he
he wanted
dumped
you
the
to
full
see.
logs. I mean, I guess he could be like editing these before posting.
I guess
them.
like there could have been like, my thing was like there could have been like new logs where he did some crazy shit, and he's not releasing those.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's possible. She hasn't released anything yet. I don't know if she's going to, but
Hi, friends.
what's up?
I'm good.
What are you here for?
Talking about the ethics of breaking news.
Listen, I'm not letting this devolve into a fucking
I
philosophy
don't-
conversation. Okay, that shit's so boring.
First, Republicans
Amen.
stalled the Garland
Fucking amen,
nominee
dude.
based on the Biden rule. A policy
Rem,
advocated
I'm
by
so
Joe
sorry, dude. I
Biden
feel like
in
every time
92
we're in a
feet
fucking call
regarding
together, I bully
vacancies
you. I
during
don't
an
mean to.
election cycle.
He earns it.
Second,
Okay.
there is
I
a
need
vast
some bullying
difference between
sometimes.
stalling a nominee
crying
and what
here.
they did to Kavanaugh.
Apparently he's into it, so it's okay.
Yeah, Ram, by enabling that bullying, you're implicitly suggesting that other people should be allowed to be bullied. I think you really need to up your rule consequentialist.
Is this the
Bye.
little podcast?
She allowed me to run her stomach, back, and probably rub. Is what I'm wondering is how the fuck does GDQ ban anyone based off this shit?
I mean,
They're not ruling out sexual harassment, so
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
made that
like
name
the-
7 times, Miss Moon. We got it. Okay.
That's a good
Yes,
one.
yeah.
There's
see,
gonna be
like
some people
in
into
this
shit.
situation, banning him is probably the safe move, but they shouldn't frame it as a ban. They should frame it as, we're looking into it, and while this is going on, he's not going to be allowed at. Though what capacity they have to actually look into anything is pretty questionable, and honestly, the police should probably just be involved if it is something that
Was he a speedrunner? What game was he meant to play?
Can
So-
we not call her fucking fat in chat? That's not relevant to literally anything going on. Oh my god. Can you guys hold on to your fucking inner incels? Jesus fucking
Who said it,
Christ.
dude? Just fucking ban him.
Has she
Holy
said
shit.
anything? Like,
No, she hasn't.
I
released
guess I'm just
anything.
curious, like, what would be the sexual harassment here? Where there has to be something missing. I don't know.
Well, no, there doesn't have to be. She might. I mean, the story could just be that
Well,
she
I
said
guess it could be
she doesn't want to do
wrong.
anything, like at all, like sleep with him at all. She just wants to sleep on the floor, and then the guy said no. But you're asking what is the? What was her accusation?
Well, yeah, right. Like, because he got banned for some reason. So I would assume that like she said something to like GDQ. It wasn't like
Wait,
don't
has
know,
she
somebody was-
commented? Where? Link her comments.
somebody came into Discord and was like, "Hey, so and so sexually harassed me." I guess I would like dig deeper into it. I'd be like, "Okay, well, like what happened?" I wouldn't just be like, "Oh, okay, like let me ban."
Can I
him."
here's some advice for the seven girls that watch my stream or whatever. If a guy is inviting you out to an event like this, 99% of the time there are going to be pretty big expectations on the table. Most of the time, this might work out okay, especially if you don't give as much a fuck or whatever. Sometimes it's not. If it doesn't work out okay, like, I would absolutely make sure that you have, like, an ability.
I'm sorry. Can we get a quick rundown on what's going on?
Yeah,
No,
as an
Have a
aside,
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got cut off by the donation. Hold on.
Oh,
You
sorry.
need to make sure that you have a way to get out. Okay, you can't go to somebody like completely cut them off or whatever from anything that they thought was going to happen, and then expect that they're going to come through for you and everything else. The chances of that happening every time is probably not going to happen. I would be very, very, very cautious of that kind of shit. All right, go.
yeah, and I mean,
Where's the gay representation, Stephen?
Nice.
well,
man.
here, without any gender roles assigned to anything, everyone in chat, and I mean, actually, maybe like 20% of chat, because those are the people that can actually get into relationships. So always be wary of expectations that are assigned to things like gifts. For example, if someone buys you season tickets to
Why
some
would
sort of
he
thing, or
share
if someone
so
offers
many
you to
fucking
or offers to fly you out across the country, the first thing you need to realize is that is a very serious commitment on their part, and by accepting that is there's an implication of a serious commitment on your part. So you need to be aware of this sort of thing. That's not to say that anyone here was necessarily in the wrong. Again, I'm not super informed, or I guess for the first time, I'm not super informed on exactly what happened here. But, be very aware of, non-verbal messages that you may send by accepting or not accepting something.
Can we be real? Can we just go with our guts here? He's a gamer. He's in the wrong. He probably did some creepy ass shit when she got to the hotel. We all know it's true. We just don't want to say it. It's on
Well,
the
like,
tip of
I would
everyone's
normally
tongues.
agree with you. Hold on, let me read this fucking real fast. Why, please stop
I'm all
donating
caught
me
up
fucking
now.
novels. Why would he share so many fucking messages, including fucking intimate ones, but not dump the entire log? The last tweet wasn't the end of the logs. Ask him to send you the full thing. Bonus meme, not going to leave you stranded or anything like that. Okay, first of all, you're taking that tweet out of context. I mean, I don't think that was like, not going to leave you stranded if you totally fucking like string me up and don't do anything at all with me. Like, that wasn't the context of that tweet. I mean, we can go and read it. That was just like in the general conversation about like transporting her from the fucking airport. So, nice meme. And then, I'm sorry, what was the thing you just mentioned right beforehand?
Me?
Oh, that he was a gamer when he's wrong. Normally I would side with you instantly without even fucking thinking about it because fuck gamers. But like he was like ultra fucking like he was pretty responsible, at least as far as the messaging went. And she was the one that was the first one to broach the sex subject. So I mean, like I don't know, like I give him like really big props for that because I don't see.
Completely agree. I'm sorry. I just want to say I completely agree. Optics wise, the chat logs look really good for him.
Mhm.
It's just that that can be a pattern of abuse that some people engage in, where they present themselves very affably through mediums they know can later.
I mean that is possible.
I'm not saying that's proof. I'm just
Mhm.
saying it does. That is a pattern that occurs.
Sure, that is possible.
Thinking pretty far ahead, but yeah.
No, I mean it's not necessarily even thinking far ahead. People like it doesn't necessarily have to be premeditated anyway. He could just be different in person than he is through.
Yeah, which is what I said. Like it's totally possible that they met in person and then like she just totally changed her mind on everything, which is fine. And I've said a million times, like, she has the right to do that. But man, expecting someone to cover your room and the plane ticket back after, like, totally, like, stimming like that, I don't know. I would never expect someone to do it for me.
So are we defending, are you defending this, is it Chad?
What?
CDGE?
His name's Chad.
Yeah, I think he has every right to revoke her ticket and kick her out, 100%, yeah.
Well,
It's a dick move, though.
There's a difference between
It's not a dick move at all. It's totally,
You don't think so?
totally okay, yeah.
Oh no, I
Really?
think it's an absolute.
I don't-
He's
I feel
completely
like
in the wrong here.
I don't think
Okay,
don't
one
know.
at a time. Holy shit,
Otherwise.
please, one at a time, go.
Like, for one, if you've already, because he must have known in advance that she does not have another way to get back. So if he's canceling the plane ticket after already having agreed, to pay for, I'm not really concerned about the whole him being banned from Gdq or whatever. I don't know what their internal policies are for something like that. But in terms of his actions towards her, like that's just a total dick move, because nothing in these, no matter what
Do you
someone
think it's
says,
a dick move for her to be like, I'm just going to lay on the floor and fucking not do fuck all the rest of the time and I expect you to continue to cover everything? Do you think that she's totally fine there? That's not a huge dick move on her part?
he says multiple times in these that the biggest concern for me is safety and being comfortable with each other. If she gets cold feet, he's already agreed that the biggest concern, like, he's
No, the big
clearly
thing was that he wanted somebody to sleep with. He made that pretty explicitly clear, like all throughout this.
You could say, "Oh, I really," yeah, but he says multiple times, "I just want to make sure that you're comfortable." And if so, at some point, she's like, "Oh, I really don't feel comfortable, sleeping with you now." He's made it very clear in these logs that her safety is his number one priority, and all of a sudden, oh well, I'm not going to sleep with you, therefore that's completely like his priority. He's giving mixed signals here.
I don't agree. If his safety is her priority and he doesn't want to force anything, that's totally fine. And she can walk out. And this is kind of irresponsible. I don't think he like fucking held her down or anything, or I haven't seen anyone make any of those kinds of claims. So she was free to leave, it seems, and she did. But that doesn't mean that he's obligated to like sit there and pay for everything afterwards and fly her home. That just seems like.
But the point is that she probably would not have gone if safety wasn't such a big concern for him. He made it very clear that safety and being comfortable is the most important thing to him.
Yeah, so
And
like
she
I would
goes-
say,
she
so what I
flies
would
out
say,
there
yeah,
thinking that
I
that's the
understand. And what
case.
I would say is that like if that's going to be the case, if you're going somewhere, like she fucked herself really hard on this. I guess you could argue that the guy should have had the foresight to see that if things go really, really south, that maybe he shouldn't have entered this deal either. But if you're flying to a place where a person's made it pretty implicitly clear that they expect you to sleep with them, and you think there's a chance that might not happen, and you have no fucking way to get out if you like renege on that deal, I mean, you're pretty fucking stupid for accepting to go. Like, what a dumb decision to make. Holy shit.
Yeah, like I just like at any point in time, if someone is not, like, I feel like there should never. I don't think anyone ever should do anything thinking that there's not going to be a chance that someone backs out from having any sort of sexual relations with someone, and you should always be prepared for someone to say no to any sort of intimate relations.
Can I jump in?
Like I don't. It doesn't make sense to me how you could defend him in this case.
I guess it seems like it was I don't know. It seems like it was a transaction now, and then she didn't uphold her bargain, so he's like not upholding his, which not in like the sexual sense, but like in the like.
Well, what else?
He made it super clear that he wanted her to like sleep, just cuddle or whatever. She said no, and now he's like, okay, well then I'm not gonna uphold mine, and like cancels her ticket.
Okay,
I mean, I think that I don't know.
I'm pretty sure something like it. For one, it's not a transaction, because if it was a transaction, it would have to be like clearly, formally laid out.
I mean, they didn't make a contract, but it's pretty clear what's going on here. Like, if I was this girl's friend, like I would be calling her a fucking idiot right now for not seeing like this isn't one of those things where it's like, well, you just have to be really socially aware. Like, it's pretty fucking obvious like what's being asked for here. Like he's looking for somebody to sleep with and cuddle with.
I said earlier, like this is flying someone out. Apparently, the ticket was like around $500 plus whatever he paid for the room. That I mean, I guess he was getting anyway. But like, it's an investment, and I hate to use that word because there's not really a connotation attached to it. But it's very clear that at least the dynamic going into this relationship, if that word fits here, is uneven to say the least. I'm still looking through the logs to actually catch up on what's up, but I don't know. It seems weird at the very least. Let's just end it there, and I'll have more to say later.
I'm not bringing this. A lot of people keep bringing this up. I'm not bringing it up because it makes the conversation a lot less interesting. But apparently, also, he only kicked her out after she didn't even want to sleep in the same bed. But he didn't actually cancel her shit until she made an accusation at Games Done Quick. But I mean, that makes my side of the argument pretty easy. I think he's justified in that, right? I don't think anyone.
The only thing I'm talking about is the canceling of the plane ticket.
Yeah, well,
like,
I'm just saying that apparently he canceled the plane ticket in response to her filing harassment charges and him getting banned from Gdq or whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's harassment.
Doesn't that sort of make the plane ticket seem like collateral to prevent her?
Yeah, this is retaliation essentially, right? Like if that was the case, like let's say. Again,
I mean, you call it.
He did harass her, and then
you call it retaliation, but like, I'm really not. That was like a super loaded word. I don't know if I'm feeling okay with that.
I'm
like,
using it as a legal term here. Like this is
no,
like,
I understand, but we're talking like ethically. Like, let's say the girlfriend wants to fuck you, and you're like, and you do it in the morning, or like you bust real quick, and you don't get her off, and then she goes downstairs. Sure, and then she goes downstairs and doesn't make you breakfast, and you're like, are you retaliating against me? Like that's like a super loaded.
No, this analogy is super fuck. Get out of here. What the fuck?
What do you mean?
That shit? Hold on. No. This is not the same thing. Not even remotely the same thing.
How is it they had like a pretty implicit agreement about what was going on here, and she totally backed out, and then he backed out of his end of it. I don't know if he was like 100% like obligated to fly her home, especially if she's gonna like walk out on him for the rest of the time. Like,
I think he was, and like even we're talking about obligation and all that, but ultimately the only reason he would have done it was in a form of retaliation. I don't know how that's really.
I don't know how you could use a legal definition.
The only person that benefits
when there's no legal when there's no legal claim for retaliation.
Yeah, no, Apple Place, you're totally. Listen, I've been covering a lot of shit where there's like retaliation in the workplace recently, so I just fucked up. That's an
EEOC claim.
Yeah. No,
I'm not making a legal claim. I'm just talking about like whatever in response to her not fulfilling her her side of the quote unquote deal. then I don't think that he should have canceled the plane ticket, because ultimately the only thing that does is make him feel a little bit better. How does that help anyone? How does that help the case in any way, shape, or form? How is that possibly an ethical decision in any way?
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the ethical decision? Say that again.
To cancel the plane ticket.
Oh, because he doesn't feel the obligation to do anything. He's like, fuck her.
But okay, but again, so who did that really benefit?
It's not about it benefiting. Right? It's about him like following through on it. It's like out of the goodness of his fucking heart. So I mean, like he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have the obligation to do so.
No, but prior to her, she was under the impression going there that she'd have a way back. So yeah, it's going to cause her a lot more harm if we want to look at it from that type of perspective.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. She's no longer his concern. If somebody threatens to kill themselves, if I stop talking to them, it's not like me not talking to them makes me responsible for that decision all of a sudden.
I think that's a total disanalogy.
Apparently, she's
okay.
Been
As soon as she was like, I don't want fuck all to do with you. She is no longer his responsibility. He doesn't have to make sure she gets home or make sure anything.
If you've flown someone out to you, then of course they are in some part your
what? She's not his fucking dependent. He's not there to fucking babysit her. Fuck no. He offered her a plane ticket out implicitly, pretty clearly, in exchange for some fucking sleeping together, cuddling or whatever, and she totally walked the fuck out on that, in which case he's like, yeah, fuck it, I don't have to worry about this chick at all. She's not his concern whatsoever. He can totally walk the fuck away at that point.
Do we know if she has a way back? Like,
who cares? It doesn't matter.
What do you mean? Okay, no. Because if she's stranded there and she has no way to get back, and she's literally stuck there, then of fucking course.
No, what do you mean? No, it's not. Is he her? He's not her dad. He's not her keeper. She's not his dependent. He doesn't have any obligation whatsoever to deliver her back to her house. She's got family. She's got friends. That's on her. He has no obligation to do fuck all for him. That's her fault.
She's fucked.
Fuck off. What? Like if she's traveling out there with absolutely no way to get back, and she knows that, and then she stiffs the guy that like is the one that flew out there. How can she possibly expect that he's going to like maintain her best interest at heart and get her back home? Like, that's so dumb. He doesn't have an obligation for that.
Why would he pay for someone's flight after they accused him of sexual harassment?
I don't know.
What's the logic there?
Steven, don't you think
Can't really decide which side I'm on until we know what happened in that hotel room.
Can lead to a lot of bad outcomes, whereas the attitude Rem and myself are taking can only lead to the worst outcome it can lead to, as you having to suffer the indignity of paying for the return ticket of the person who slighted you.
Yeah, but
I feel like there's way more potential.
Well, you're asking for people to rise to a level of like past what I would even consider like the ideal human to be. We're going into like levels of saintlyhood. Like,
yeah, no,
if a guy tells me, oh yeah, you know, like I flew a girl out and we were supposed to hang out all weekend, but she actually like stayed the night at another guy's house the whole time and never talked to me, but I picked her up from the guy's house at the end and then drove her to the airport and flew her home and wished her well. Like, I'd be like, damn, dude, you're like holy shit, you're a really fucking good person. You're like saintly. That would be like way above and beyond. Like,
okay.
Treat women like children. Treat women like children.
Aside, I have been in that position, and given that I was more financially independent than the woman at that time, I felt the alternative, which would have been stranding her in Delaware, was inferior ethically, you know?
Okay, but we're not going off of anecdotes. I mean, if we want to go off anecdotes, I paid $2,500 a year to my ex-girlfriend to live with me for a year while she tried to figure shit out. Like, I mean, like, I understand these positions. Like, I've
really nice.
Sure, and I understand that, but I wouldn't compel anyone else to do it, and I wouldn't say like, oh, you have to do this particular thing.
But we're not compelling. We're just saying they kind of shoulda. It kind of.
Well, no. When you say that this guy is a huge asshole for doing it, he's got a moral compulsion to do something. That sounds like you're compelling somebody to do it. Like,
well, right, it's the difference between a good Samaritan versus a.
Sure. So if you want to make the statement, it's the difference of where our neutral point lies. If you want to make the statement that if this guy would have flew her home or whatever, that he'd be a really fucking good person for doing so, yeah, of course, I'm not going to disagree with that. But if he decides, yeah, fuck it, she can figure her own shit out past this, I don't give a fuck, that's a neutral act to me. I don't think he's in the wrong at all there. He has no responsibility or obligation to take care of her. Just because he flew her out doesn't mean he's responsible for getting her back.
Right. So we can all agree that him flying her back would have been a more ethical choice.
Yeah, it would have been like, yeah, sure, but not one that I could compel someone to. You being a vegan would probably be a more ethical choice.
I mean, that he is not ethically wrong.
Correct. His action is neutral. Yeah.
So my issue here is that I think it's going to come down to a lot of the specifics about her, because we don't know all the details, right? So we don't know the situation that she's in. So, for example, if she's literally stranded there and she has absolutely no way to get home, I think. Actually,
I
yes,
agree. That makes her choice even worse. Yeah.
No, I think that he is morally
No, he's
obligated.
not.
To
Why?
fly her
Why is
back.
he her keeper?
Because again, she went there on the assumption that that she would be able to get back.
She
If
went
she
there
had
of her
known
own
that there
volition,
was
knowing
any
that her only
possibility-
way back was him.
Yes, that's the point. But just because she made a fuck up doesn't mean that he needs to drive the knife in
She
farther.
didn't just make a fuck up. She made a choice to just say fuck off for the entire fucking weekend or whatever. She didn't want anything to do with him. Why the fuck would she expect him to continue to send her back?
Nothing to do with him. I thought she just wanted to sleep on the floor.
I mean, that's okay. I'm sorry. Maybe my term was too harsh.
Wait, did he agree that it was a transaction or no?
I mean, it was pretty implicit
like
through all the logs that
yeah,
he wanted
in
somebody
my
to sleep
opinion.
with. That was kind of the whole point of their conversation.
I would just
Holy
disagree
shit,
with
chat
that.
is triggering me so hard right
What is
now.
triggering
Yeah,
you?
Chad is quite awful.
Yeah, chat. No, there is nothing here about patronizing women or assuming they have no agency. The woman made, admittedly, a poor choice. She should have more thoroughly secured the terms of this informal contract.
Oh, yeah.
That completely accepted.
Don't
That
pay for
doesn't mean
anyone's plane
the
ticket.
guy didn't
You will
do
become
something
their
shitty.
legal
These
guardian
are
for life.
not mutually
These
exclusive.
guys are dipshits.
What
And
if
I
she was
think-
being hormonal when she agreed? I'm just kidding.
It's true. She could have been PMSing. We'll never really know.
We'll never.
Can we
Maybe
not
she was
descend
pregnant.
into
Nice
the
meme.
memes?
Good job, guys. Keep it the
Chill with
meme.
the
I like it.
fucking
We have so many
memes, dude.
people in here just to meme the whole conversation.
I said
Where's
one more.
Greek? Bring Greek back.
But really, so if he basically
Destiny with
enters
another
this,
hot take that
or
gets
sorry,
him one
she
step
enters
closer
this-
to being
That
able to
was
post
fast.
on.
I'm back.
Kotaku in action.
Okay, we're sorry. Please continue.
Yo, if you pay for a ghost ticket, she needs to suck your dick.
Oh, there
Get
you
him
go.
out of here, dude.
I agree
That's
with
not at all what I was
Jesus
surprised to
Christ.
hear. I totally expected it. So, okay.
These are your followers, Stephen.
Go ahead,
This
Irish,
is
go
what
ahead.
They
What are we
believe
gonna
for
say?
you.
What do you mean? I'm not following Steven. Steven follows me.
Wait, can we? I'm so sorry. Can we please go
What?
ahead, Irish?
Oh, no. I mean, I think we've all made our points. I think this is really stupid. Every time something like this happens, where there's an allegation of maybe kind of sexual misconduct, usually a guy going to a con, bringing over a woman, something stupid happening, and everyone on the internet jumps onto speculation, and it's great. I mean, we love to speculate, but I feel like these conversations go the same way every time. It always seems like the woman was kind of irresponsible and maybe a little bit overly optimistic when it came to her long-term prospects with that person, and the guy usually kind of exploits their superior financial and social position to do something shady, and
Yeah,
we
I
get
agree.
nowhere with the convo ever at any
And
point.
if I can just add to that, so for example, if she was going there to like help him run an event or something, and then she doesn't follow through on that, and then he cancels the plane ticket, I think that's fine. However, the fact that she refused to engage in something sexual in nature, and I understand that cuddling is not sex, but there is still a sexual overtone to that. That is what ultimately makes that he should always be aware that anyone, and especially women, because of their place in society and so forth, can always be able to back out of anything of a
Yeah,
sexual
and that's
nature,
fine.
and
She
she
did.
should not face repercussions of
Oh
any
my
form for
God.
that at all. No, you should not.
Okay. I mean, I think we have our issue. I don't think we're ever going to agree on that foundational point. I would say that if you're planning on going to an event and you've got some heavily implicit stuff like that lined up, if you're going to cancel out or if you think there's a chance that you're not going to be comfortable, you need to have backup plans made. Because I think it's totally within the realm of expectation that the other person could back out on every other part of the deal as well. And I would take it a step further and I would say you're actually fucking insane if you think you can show up at an event that someone else flew you out for, totally walk back way past everything you said was going to happen, and then expect them to follow through on every single thing that they did. You're delusional if you think, and you might even have some sort of social disability or whatever. Like that's definitely something you want to look into.
No. So
I have to call your claim irresponsible.
it's a very
here.
simple situation. You go into this, you don't explicitly say, there's nothing explicit here. She has not specifically agreed, at least from the logs that I've seen, explicitly agreed that, okay, when I go there, I will 100% without a doubt engage in whatever with you, cuddling, whatever.
Didn't she
I don't
literally
see
say
that in the
that?
logs. Does she say that in the logs?
I mean, she says, I'm going to cuddle the shit out of you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know she says that
No,
line at least
but it
once.
needs to be a conditional. It has to be some sort of conditional that I don't see that in the logs at all. And added to
So
that
because
is the
she
fact
didn't
that
say
he
you're
says that
buying
your
my ticket, so
safety
I'll
and
cuddle you?
comfort, but it's that he says that your safety and comfort is my number one priority.
Yeah,
right?
and
then suddenly she's not comfortable, and all of a sudden, oh, actually no, I'm canceling.
I
your
mean,
plane
like,
ticket.
no. Like, the safety and comfort is the priority of everybody that I'm with as well. But if that means that they don't want anything to do with me, then I'm not going to be their caretaker for a
you
week.
keep saying nothing to do with you. Like,
Right, so,
not
hold on,
cuddling
hold
someone
on.
does not mean they have nothing to do with you.
Sleeping on the floor
just
of my
doesn't wanna
room
be-
is like we're pretty far removed from.
No, that's not.
Hold on.
What are
So
you talking about?
before you guys move on, we need to acknowledge first that we don't know what happened, right? We have the logs from beforehand, and obviously something transpired in the interim that clearly changed the dynamic that they had in these DMs,
Mhm.
right? And second, and this, I'm feeling almost like a broken record here, but because of that, it is irresponsible to speculate, right?
Wait, I'm
Especially
sorry,
in
keep
front of
going.
8,000 people.
Hold on, I wasn't listening. Say that again.
Were we speculating?
Yeah, no, this entire conversation is hinged on a handful of speculations, right?
Well, I mean, we're going through what was said in the chat logs, and we're talking about like a situation.
We're
I mean, what do you
basing it
mean?
off of that only.
Right. That's the problem here, right? So something happened in the interim, and you can't ignore that in, judging.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying,
result.
but like that can slightly change the weighting. So this is what I was talking about earlier. So what I was saying earlier was that something that could come out, and this is why I don't want to bring on the guy, right? But something that could come out that would make her side look a whole lot better would be, or not her side look better, but like it's possible that when they were physically engaging with one another in that room, that the guy did something that went way fucking overboard or wasn't being responding to anything that she said whatsoever. That's totally possible as well. In which case, like, yeah, the guy would be like a massive fucking piece of shit. But even in that case, I wouldn't expect the guy to follow through on putting her up for a week or a weekend or whatever, and then flying her back home. Like,
Yeah, and see that is a fair point of argument, especially considering the fact that she has accused him of, I'm not sure if it's sexual harassment or sexual assault or what it was. It seems
I don't know what the
vary
accusation was. I'm not sure if the.
I'm not
GameStop
talking like
thing
I
is.
don't think that's relevant to anything that I've personally said. I haven't factored that in at all. All I factored in is the plane trip, as well as her
Summary,
hinting
offers to pay
or
ticket if she agrees
saying,
to cuddle with
not
him,
even hinting,
at
saying
minimum,
that she will
sleep
engage
with-
in some form of sexual related
fall asleep.
activities
She
with
offers
him.
sex first.
Okay, but
They then
my
discuss
point
what
is
they're
that at any
comfortable
point
with.
in time, someone
She
should be able to
then
back out of
nobodies wants
anything
to
of a
even
sexual related
sleep in
nature
bed and
and
sleep
not
on
face
floor.
repercussions for it at any time.
Do you think a prostitute has the right to do that?
Absolutely.
So wait, so if I pay a prostitute $100 for a blowjob, and then she gets ready to do it, and then she pulls out, I
I don't think
okay
you want
to
to hear my views on prostitution.
No, oh god, because you take that dumb fuck's views on it that it's like inherently an immoral act, even though you can't make it inherent. You have to tie it to all sorts of other conditions, right? Is that
It's very complex. And
Oh my god. Okay. Well, let's say, for instance, let's say that you didn't have your fucking your dumb fucking sex worker view. Okay. Like if I gave a woman $100 per blowjob and then she goes to start and then she pulls back and she's like, I don't want to. I'm entitled to my money back, right?
Uh-oh, it's very complex.
Again, you're asking me to take the opposite position than the one
I'm asking you to
currently
consider a pretty easy hypothetical.
Can you just
Again,
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
if
change it.
there
Let's
has-
say I go to a place to get a massage, okay? Let's say that I offer $100 to get a massage, and the person starts, and after like 1 minute, they're like, well, hold on, I want to do this. Am I entitled to my money back, or do they get to keep it?
That's a good one. I'm not sure about how massage. I don't think massage is like just a massage.
Sure.
I don't think there's anything inherently sexual about a massage.
Does the guy get a wedding ring back if they don't get married? Does anybody know?
I don't know. That's not even
That'd be
relevant,
kinda
though.
sick.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's not really
so like, I can ask for my money back for a massage because they didn't follow through at all, right?
Yeah, I think Steven's right in this analogy. I just don't think the analogy.
The analogy doesn't fit because the difference is
Are we talking about
there's
the massage?
explicit exchange versus an implicit exchange, right? So despite the fact that, whatever was said in these logs was said, this isn't a transaction.
I
in
totally
the way that
disagree.
buying a
I mean,
bagel
like,
at
we
a
can go
bagel
through
shop
it.
is a transaction.
To be responsible, if you're
Fuck
watching
off,
my
Ruben.
stream
Jesus.
and you don't think that this type of stuff is transactional, you should never be engaging in these types of things. Any sane, non-autistic person would 100% read this as a transactional thing. If you don't read it as such, you absolutely should never be engaging in these types of conversations or making these types of deals. If somebody is explicitly talking about sleeping with you, cuddling you, and then you bring up fucking them in exchange for them flying you out somewhere, swear that is 100% some sort of exchange. If you don't see it as such, I have no fucking
Right, so
idea like what.
you're missing the minutia of what I said. Explicit versus implicit, right?
But that doesn't. But that's not. I tend not to make a huge distinction there because the implicit is so much of what happens in daily communication, right? Like, we operate. What do you mean?
No, I disagree.
Oh, God.
Because the difference between explicit and implicit is what comes up in like a shit ton of court cases.
We're not talking about court cases. We're talking day-to-day life. When girlfriends and boyfriends fuck each other, consent is very oftentimes implicit. In fact, I would say the vast majority of times.
Again, that's a total. That's not relevant. That's
okay,
a total.
Most of what we do are implicit things. Like we very rarely. For instance, if a friend is like, "Hey, can I get a ride from there? And then can you take me back?" Blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, I'll be going to that party or whatever. Like you can tag along with me. Like very rarely are we like explicitly like setting the terms and writing a contract. Like most of our stuff is like pretty implicitly done.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying that in in key situations like this, that boundary is not so clear, and especially in things that are related to stuff of a sexual nature.
Wait, if I may, could I jump in on this? Let's decouple sex from this because sex is very loaded conceptually. All right. Let's say that you recently bought a house and you're going to have a kid soon, and you want to bring a painter in who you like. You're going to fly them in, and they're going to paint like the baby room. They're going to paint like blue skies and rainbows and shit. It's gonna be real nice. Maybe you're gonna do a Mario decal in the corner. It's gonna look real good, okay? Let's say you're like, all right, I'm gonna pay for your plane ticket over, 400 this way, 400 back, and I'll pay you for the service. They arrive, and instantly you put them the fuck off. You're creepy, you're overbearing, you're vaguely insulting. You, the person hiring them, didn't realize they were Hispanic, and you fucking hate dark-skinned people. So you're like tossing it kind of like low-key, throwing those slurs down. This person gets uncomfortable as fuck. They throw down their tools. And they're like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. My plane arrives on Tuesday. I'm gonna go to a hotel, and you'd better not fucking cancel because it's on you that this service was rendered moot. And then you cancel the ticket. Now, obviously, this analogy isn't perfectly parallel, but I think in instances, and I think we can agree on this, where you bring a person over and your misbehavior causes them to behave in a way contrary to that by which the contract said you would be willing to send them back, as long as it was your behavior that made them uncomfortable, in that instance, it is unethical to cancel their return trip home. That was a little bit.
No, they actually owe you for your reliance damages and your expectation damages because they never delivered on their side of the contract because you performed your end. They just failed to perform their end because they found you off-putting because of your racism or whatever. But the fact is, there was a meeting of the minds around the contract. It just so happened that you decided not to perform it because you found them morally repugnant. But that doesn't legally absolve you of any responsibility.
No, qualify as a contract.
Well, no, but if like
in the scenario you gave, it's absolutely a contract.
If you're getting harassed, you can make a strong case in canceling a contract for harassment of the people in which you signed into that contract.
Under what grounds? There was a meeting.
I'm sorry. I should clarify. I am not a business boy. I have never looked at a piece of paper in my entire life. So if I'm wrong on this, please do let me know. But I'm fairly
you're
sure.
Wrong.
If you're all right, okay, never mind. All right.
Wait, he's wrong on which part? Sorry.
So there was clearly, like in his scenario, there was clearly a meeting of minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
That there was going to be an exchange. There's consideration on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
The consideration is I'm going to fly him out. He's going to paint my house. I deliver, like the racist dude delivers on his end. The other guy doesn't. He's obviously in breach of his obligations under the contract, so you can sue him for reliance damages. This is a terrible analogy.
Wait, who can sue who?
Thing. The racist dude can sue the guy who failed to perform, the painter.
Even if you harassed him?
Like what are you gonna like? There are defenses to contracts, right? But you're not like a court's not gonna hold this up because the guy said
wait. There's got to be some sort of civil thing where you could sue the other person for something. There's no way that's true. So let's say, for instance, somebody contracts me to go out and work for an event, and they fly me there and back, and I go there, and as soon as I get there, I walk into a room, and everybody is like screaming racial slurs at me the entire time. There's got to be a way for me to leave.
You can say it's unconscionable to enforce the contract. You could say that it's grossly unfair to enforce the penalty against him. But if one dude is just like act like I don't know. I do not
why are
see
we
this as
talking
inappropriate
law in this ethics discussion? Wait, what? How did you slip in here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the law coming from?
Well, law
Like,
is
who gives a fuck what
law is
is?
partially informed. Law is partially informed by ethics. You should know this.
Yes, but the current American legal structure. Oh, is that a good representation of what is ethical?
I mean, in ways, yeah, you can explore backwards for sure. Like conversation.
100%.
You're wrong 100%. I mean, I have firsthand experience with this. Something like alimony seems absolutely ridiculous to me, and it was either Apple's or somebody else that explained to me why alimony is done the way it is, and I actually 100% agree with the underlying ethical principles now. I think that you can explore certain things in law and kind of get out, or with the way a lot of child support stuff is structured as well, where the legal thing makes it seem very unfair to the man most of the time, but then when you realize it's set up in such a way to benefit the child, who cares about the parents, right? You start to understand more. I think it's okay to explore the legal side a little bit, as long as we don't get hung up on like specific fucking law doctrines or something.
Right? Yeah, but we're talking about specific terms.
Well, actually, I would just stop you there because family law is actually very different from all other forms of law. Like you could actually argue that family law has a lot more morality ingrained in it than like contract law, for example, which is why I'm able to make this argument.
Sure.
Because like there are essentially only like 6 different defenses to contract formation. There's like mistake, duress, unconscionability, fraud, impossibility, like if the house burns down, and I don't remember what the last one is, but it doesn't relate to like someone's conduct in the course of treating you poorly after a contract has been made.
Sure.
So like I just don't think you can inform morality there, but I get what you're saying.
Is this guy an actual law professional? Apple is a first-year law student. What are you again?
I'm a paralegal, guys.
He does. To be fair, Apple does a
law?
business law, I think, right?
What?
But I don't see how this is relevant. I don't know how a legal perspective can give us any insight.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
Suits for 2 seasons. So,
yeah, the reason why he's bringing it up is because Apple is because Irish Laddie brought up like a very specific situation, and Apple has had a very specific answer. But if we look at it from like from an ethical or moral standpoint, I mean, this is kind of the concession that I made at the start, where like if the guy was like insanely fucking egregious, and this is why I didn't want to bring the guy on to say this for like the 3rd time, is because if the guy acted in an extremely aggressive or offensive manner, then I would be a lot more sympathetic to the story of the girl. Although I still think that she probably should have found a way to transport herself back, like especially because in any scenario where the guy is going to be so aggressive that you're going to feel like you're not comfortable, it would be the same type of person I wouldn't expect to follow through on that implicit agreement anyway, right?
Yeah, and this is the reason why the correct take in the situation is that even if she was down for literally anything, she still shouldn't have taken the ticket.
Yeah, if you're going to put yourself in that situation where you're like 100% like essentially somebody who's captive, it's a really, really bad decision.
But again, like everyone in this story is an asshole. Everyone in this story is immoral, I would say, like right off the bat.
Well,
obviously,
we have, unfortunately, to figure out if the guy is immoral or not. He's
100%. He's literally, basically, if we're treating this as a transaction, he's paying someone to come fucking cuddle him.
Why is that immoral?
Why is that immoral?
Well, no, because he is inherently against any sort of like sex transaction stuff like that.
Ram, you're not a swerf, are you?
A what?
A swerf, sex worker, exclusionary, radical feminist.
Well,
I guess I would be. I've never heard that term.
Rem, what's your
Wait, real quick, can we walk away with a couple of like universal statements here? Here's like a big one I think we can all agree on, okay? If you have a way to get somewhere, and the only way is by making some implicit or whatever deal with a person that involves fucking them or sleeping with them, you need to be ready for the fact that when you get there, you might change your mind. And if you change your mind, they might change their mind. So it is irresponsible of you to go there without another way out, because you are setting yourself up for being really fucked and putting yourself in a real bad situation. Don't ever fucking do that. Okay?
100%. Like, she is totally moronic for getting herself into this. 100%. But that doesn't change the fact that the dude's also a gigantic asshole.
Maybe. Okay. But I gave the statement we can all agree on past that. Okay. What was your question, Irish Laddie? I got stalled real quick.
I would agree with what you said if you rephrased it, so let's just leave it.
Okay.